Hello and welcome to the Last Dish Podcast, episode 3, this time from two separate locations. Today we're going to be looking over the weekend that's just gone as we travel down to Bolton to watch Carlisle United beat Bolton Wanderers 3-1. Absolutely incredible match. I really enjoyed it. It was great. It was a good day as a whole, despite the complications the night before with trains and whatnot. We're going to be looking ahead to the Leyton Orient game next week, and also talking about the I suppose underwhelming performance from the pizza stuffed crust invitational trophy last night against Nottingham Forest under 21s. Should we start with the Bolton Wanderers game? I suppose. Where else would you begin?
Yeah, the absolute amazing game that we were in attendance for. That was just unbelievable.
That was unreal, wasn't it?
I did think to myself, I thought that we would get a result. I thought because of how many we took.
Yeah.
And I know we've been getting stick clearly over the last week, going, "Oh, it was your cup final." It wasn't a cup final.
Barely.
We turned up and Bolton didn't, and I think the Carlisle boys, every single one of them, gave an absolute 110% effort.
Definitely.
And you can't ever fault them for that.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few Bolton fans just be like, "Oh, well, we were just shit on the day," and it's like, you're clearly just saying that to discredit how good our performance was. Like, it's clear that we were the better team on the day, by a mile.
Yeah.
I've had Bolton fans on Twitter say that that's not correct, but it clearly was. Otherwise, we wouldn't have beat you 3-1, would we? But no, honestly, outstanding performances from Jordan Gibson for one, his first ever senior hat trick. I'm pretty sure he said in his interview he's never even got a senior brace before. So the fact that he's went and got a hat trick is unbelievable. He really stepped up to the occasion there. It was brilliant. I feel like
Thomas Hawley was fantastic.
Thomas Hawley was superb. Sam Lavelle, probably his best performance for us so far. I think Sam Lavelle, and I think I've said this to him. I sent him an Instagram message. He's worn that armband incredibly well. Like, he's worn it with pride, and he's stepped into Hunt's position very, very well, considering Hunt's out for up to a month, I think it was. But I suppose, should we run through the day as a whole? From start to finish, I suppose, will be the way to go about it. So started off nice and early in the morning. Well, actually, it started from the night before when we found a lovely tweet from Avanti West Coast saying that no services north of Preston would be running the following day, meaning it was impossible for us to get to the Bolton match by train. So we last minute pulled through a favour from Big Stephen. And he gave us a lift down. It was absolutely. It was a.
But I was asleep. I was
gonna say you'd fallen asleep by the time the tweet was out.
On Friday night, I was absolutely shattered, and I just went to sleep. And I woke up to your message and Elliot messages as well, going, "Oh, what we're gonna do?" And I was just a bit like, "Oh, we'll just go in the car. It's not like we're going to the other end of the world. Like, we will just go in the car." And luckily, Uncle Stephen, saviour, he was happy to drive down. So there was. How many was there? 6 of us in the car?
There was me, you, Adam, Stephen, Ellie, and Kirky. Yeah, 6 of us.
There's 6 of us in the car, and it was a good trip down. Obviously, you go to like games with like Kirky in that way. So I'm normally in the ground with like Stephen and Adam, so it's never like when we're in the car. It's ever like, you're just an absolute whiner to him. And he gave you it back this time.
He did.
Brilliant.
I prefer going to the away days in the car over going in the train, to be honest. Because it's like,
to be fair, there will be
your own space. You've got the tunes on. Like, there's only a few years. It's good crack. Like, it was good. It was good going down.
It depends where you're going to, because obviously the further away games you have to go on the train. Sometimes it's just like, it's better going on the train because you get the atmosphere on the way down. But I mean, as soon as we entered Bolton, you could just tell. I mean, we stopped off at Lancaster Services, and it was just full of fruit salads.
Fucking fruit salad shirts everywhere, man.
There was about 4 Man United shirts, and I think there was a couple of Newcastle shirts, and honestly, the majority of it was the fruit salads and Carlisle strips, and you just thought, this is unbelievable, this.
It was absolutely unbelievable. It was like getting down there as well, so like obviously you and Ellie and whatnot, you went to meet your brother. Meanwhile, me and Kirky were like, well, we're in the upper tier, like, we don't really need to stick around with this lot, we're going to go for a pint. We went to the Beehive in Bolton, lovely wee spot, and it was absolutely packed with Carlisle fans, absolutely rammed. I think we saw it on the roundabout as we went past, but when we actually went there, it was literally like line out the door, beer garden was full, place itself was full, took me like 20 minutes to get served, like the bar was just packed. Like absolutely unbelievable
It
atmosphere.
took you
even
that
before
long
the
to
game
get
kicked
served
off.
because Kirky looks about 12.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking, but they were, hey, but they weren't ideal people. So hey, if you fancy a cheeky part in a match, they got the beehive and Bolton, you get served.
I think there's a few photos that we got sent from lads that were outside the beehive because obviously there was that many out with flags and stuff. So
Yeah,
we can insert some of them. But
we'll put a few up now.
as Ollie said, he went to the beehive. So my brother was coming up from his uni for the game, and we didn't know how it was working because obviously you get given your tickets and you get given a seat, but we didn't know if it was working in the sense of you actually went to your seat or you just got in and just went where you
just got
wanted.
in and got there. It's in a weird day, isn't it? So you kind of just go wherever you want. Hang on, I'm just going to...
So Uncle Steve and then Adam and Ellie went in. They got the seats and I waited outside for Josh, and Josh's phone must have been on about 4%. So I'm ringing him going, where are you? And he had this massive bag that he had to, and one of my pals had said he'd put it in his car, and then he wasn't answering because he had no signal. I was like, oh my God.
Absolute nightmare.
But I just went to the police officer and I was just like, look, I said, he's bringing a bag down, he's going for a night out, can we just leave it somewhere around? Yeah, if you just go to security held on to it.
Aye.
And then me and my brother went in, and it was nice to see him because obviously I hadn't seen him in ages, but we went in and honestly the atmosphere, as soon as we walked in, he was like, oh, wanky wanky.
It's unbelievable stuff.
Like, it was belting out because the bit we walked in was pretty much the entrance that was closest to like the divide between Carlisle and Bolton fans.
The crazy corner in heavy inverted quotes. What a fucking shot.
I walked into that away end and I thought, oh my God, this is going to be bouncing. Like
I
actually said to Adam, I went, if we score, this place is going to go absolutely insane.
And we only went and did it 3 times.
Well, to be fair, like 4 times essentially.
Yeah, it's 1 in our own net. I mean, I managed to get the second Jordan Gibson goal on video from the upper tier, so I'll put that in here at some point.
Yeah, but we'll talk through the goals and that, and then build up and put that
in. So if we go from where did we get to? Right, so we got down. Me and Kirk had our pint. We got into the ground. We actually, I'll talk a minute here. Me and Kirky spoke to a couple of Bolton fans on our way to the ground. These lads, I think they're about the same age as us, maybe a year younger. And they were saying about how like they've been doing really well this season, all the rest. They're like, oh, how many fans are you bringing down? I was like about 4,500, and even they were like, oh, that's really, that's really good support, all that. They were like, oh, is that in Scotland? I went, no, it's not in fucking Scotland. But we got to the ground after they'd said to us, oh no, I think if we start Dion Charles, I think he'll put a couple past you. Didn't know, did he, boys? And I kept on. I saw them lads that we were spoke to before the game in the corner of like the Bolton fans, and I just kept on looking at them thinking, oh, you boys are having a way worse day than you thought. Like, it's just, I think it was an unexpected result, definitely. But it's one that we'll very happily take.
No, but I don't think it was. Like, honestly, I know a lot of people go, oh, where Bolton were. There was, like, I'm not being funny, I knew we would get something. Whether it was a draw.
Oh, I knew we'd get something. That's what I think. I think we got a draw. I thought we'd get a draw, but I'd never expected to win the way that we did.
Maybe 3-1 was like a bit like, oh my God, we've absolutely... And to be fair, they did. I know we scored an own goal, but it's not like they scored the goal. Basically scored 4 goals. And you kind of go, the whole performance was dominant. I didn't think we'd be dominant, but I did think we'd get something, because when you take that many fans to an away game,
it's like having a 12th man on the pitch, really.
It is. Like, I'm sorry. And we were all behind that goal. I mean, the photo, put the photo in. Like, honestly, it was just
packed.
Filled. Like, it was absolutely insane. And it's mental, because this is why when you look at supporting like your local team, it's I'm looking around, it's like lads I know and stuff, and you're cracking with them. And
yeah.
This is unreal. This, and you can chat about it when you next see them or whatever like that.
There's a lad that we saw in front of us, who plays for one of the youth teams at Gretna, who I've seen being there every time, and he turns around and he's like, oh, Ollie, I didn't know he was there. I was like, yeah, what do I know you? He's like, oh, I play for Gretna. I was like, oh, no way. It's like, it's seeing these people like that you've seen around your hometown.
Community, isn't it?
You've gone all the way down this like into the middle of the country, and you've seen this fucking result come off. It's like, it's unbelievable stuff. And I mean, as far as the game went from start to finish, obviously, own goal early on from John Mellish. I felt bad for him, to be fair, because the connection was good for the clearance, but just didn't go the right direction. And, you know, Bolton, they looked dangerous going forward. Their movement in the final third was very good, which is, I think that's why the own goal came, to be honest. Their movement and their passing in the final third was just brilliant in the first half. And, you know, we grabbed the goal before half-time with that penalty from Jordan Gibson. Of course, Joe Garner had his penalty. Less said about that, the better. But Joe, you bald bastard, why did you have to take it? Huh? Why did you have to take it?
Don't insult him.
No, why?
Guys,
No,
it was a bad
why did he have to
penalty.
take it? No, I'm joking. Obviously, I don't like.
It was
it
was a very bad penalty.
We won at the end of the day. It was a bad penalty, but he did. Did he win it, or was it Maguire that won it? I think it might have been Maguire that won the first one.
Maguire won the. Oh yeah, Maguire won the first.
But I mean, to be fair though,
Maguire not put the pressure on him to get the second as well.
I don't know, because I don't blame him. Like, I don't blame Garner for taking it, because I mean, he's been scoring a fair few recently, and like, you know, you'd obviously want to continue that goal scoring form. But as soon as it left his foot, I was like, oh, this isn't going in, is it? But you know, these things happen. Jordan Gibson thankfully made up for it later on, and then twice more in the second half. That second goal, I know it was a deflection, but the way it looped in was just like it's such a beautiful fucking strike, like the way it went in.
We never let up either though, because when we scored the own goal, it was like it felt to me as soon as we scored.
If anything, I think
we just turned and we were just chanting all the time.
Yeah.
Just like,
honestly, like, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say it wasn't like at any point that we were ever sat there going, oh, like obviously probably when I started and Garner missed that penalty, I thought, oh, for Christ's sake.
When that happened,
really?
I was like, this isn't our day, is it? Like, as soon as it happened, I was like, oh, this isn't our day. But it's like,
own goal,
when you concede, like, especially an own goal, you get this like resounding from the fans. Didn't happen. Like, literally a few seconds after, it was just like United chants and all the fucking rest. It was brilliant. And I think that's that's a testament to how good the fans were that day as well.
Yeah.
But from start to finish, I think an unbelievably great battling performance from the Blues. Bolton just weren't at it in the second half, at least. I'm not going to say they were shit, because I don't think they were. I think they looked very dangerous going forward. They just couldn't find the net.
I think we just kept them out. I think it was just that whole thing of like how performance was so strong.
Turning defence into attack, essentially, is what I thought it was.
Yeah, I honest to God, right, and I've said for quite a few weeks now, when he first came in, Sam Lavelle, I thought to myself, I don't know if this is actually not when the first couple of games when I watched him, I thought, oh God, I don't know if you're.
He took a while to get settled in, like, didn't he?
And as soon as he got settled, it was like a couple of games. I went, do you know what? He's been mint the last couple of games.
Yeah.
And honestly, Bolton is probably his best game he's had. I thought.
I'd say he's been our best centre half this season. I'd say.
Oh, 100%.
Mellish has been all right in flashes. You can tell the step up is like. He's challenging him a bit, but he's still doing the things that he does well. Like, he goes forward quite well. You know, he's good at smashing it away when you need to get it away. I just think maybe there's a few attackers in this league that kind of get the better of him. But I haven't seen that with Sam Lavelle yet, to be honest. I think he's done very well against the attacks that he's come against.
I think Sam works better in a 4 than a 5, because I think with a 5, it's like he is good, but I think Hunt's pace. Like, I think it's that kind of, when it's in a 4, you know, it's him, he's to your left and he's to your right, whereas you've got 2 centre-backs next to you, and it's like, who's going for it?
Mellish definitely plays better in a 5, I think, because it's like,
Mellish plays better in a 5.
He can go forward, go do some mental John Mellish shite, while the other 2 sit back and defend, you know what I mean? But if he's in a 4, he's going to leave that gap, and at this level, that'll get taken advantage of.
Yeah, exactly. No, but then obviously we scored the second goal, which is funny actually, the story that came from the second goal, because it went out for a corner.
Yeah.
And when we all looked, everyone had kind of been there. Was a few people like stood in the chairs, stuff like that, and I could kind of see, but I thought, fuck it, so I stood on the chair behind my Uncle Stephen, and honestly, it went over, and how it bounced, and he had that shot, and as soon as it hit and he went up, because that keeper fully committed.
Yeah, he did.
I thought, that's it. Because you can kind of tell, the fact that it take a massive loop over, how the keeper had fully gone for it, I thought.
I think the keeper...
That's it.
To be fair, I think the keeper maybe went a second too early, because I think by the time he was coming back down, the ball was coming back down, and it's like...
Yeah, well, it was the big deflection, wasn't it?
It was. It's hard to judge it. Like, I won't say it was the keeper's fault. I think he actually played really well for them.
Oh, he did. I thought he was there.
Sean Maguire's one-on-one chance in the second half. You know, he came out, stretched out long to save it. Maguire should probably be finishing those chances, but I think if a keeper's saving it, you've got to give him the plaudits he deserves.
Yeah, I think with Maguire, he's just got to. There's a couple of one-on-one chances I've seen him go through, and he's got to start finishing them. He's got to take it earlier.
He needs
he's getting too close, and he's trying to just dink them, and it's like
he needs his confidence to get up a bit, and the only way that's going to happen as a striker is by scoring more goals. And he's had the opportunities to do it, but he's haven't taken it, and it's hard to see, because he realistically should probably be our top scorer considering the standard of player that he is.
Most likely,
But he's not showing it yet. Even the goal he scored against Stevenage was a bit soft. But
Yeah.
I'm glad he's off the mark, but he needs to keep it running now. You can't like let it stagnate.
He's playing well. He is actually playing well. Like, you can watch him and you go, it's not like we're going, what the hell are you doing in the game?
Yeah, exactly.
Other than them chances,
exactly.
he's got to take them chances though.
Because he's got good elements of his game. His movement's good. He's fast as out. Like, people say he's lost the art of pace. I don't think he has. He gets away from defenders fairly well, I think.
Yeah.
That's one of his main qualities. It is just about getting that finishing touch on it. And I'm sure that'll come, but it needs to come sooner rather than later.
Yeah. But the Gibson goal was absolutely unreal. When that went in, because I was stood behind him like that watching, I just literally dived on his back like that. And it was, fantastic, man.
Because we've got the photo of that, and we've got the video.
No,
of
that's the third goal.
So, was it?
Goal.
Right. Well, I'll put the video in at least of me and Kirky with the second goal. We went absolutely mental. The entire place just erupted. It was unbelievable. And then the last minute goal to seal it. Jordan Gibson again for his hat trick. I don't know I don't know if they sent the keeper up or if the keeper decided to go up by himself.
Yeah, it was stupid.
He shouldn't be up there with 3 minutes to go if I had time.
No.
You do that as a keeper if it's a minute left or it's the last minute. Like, you don't go with 3 minutes to go, because if the opponent breaks forward, then that's it. You've got no chance left. And that's exactly what we did. Sam Lavelle flicks it on, and Gibson does the rest from our own half. It was absolutely brilliant. Took it past. He kind of took it round two defenders, slotted it away.
Sent one and then just slotted it, didn't he?
And then
we were all
away end
screaming,
just lost the red.
Shoot.
The away end just absolutely lost the red. It was unbelievable.
And then them lot all just went in that crazy corner.
The crazy corner went to beat the traffic, mate. They were all gone by like the 96th when it ended at 97, 98. And I mean, and you'll get a few of their fans that'll be upset about it. And to be fair, like, so would I, given their circumstances. You'd be expecting it. And I'm not gonna get annoyed at Bolton fans saying we should be beating teams like Carlisle, because you should. You know what I mean? Like, a team of the level that they are, they're doing very well this season. It's not like they're just a name. Like, they have got ability and they're doing really well. They probably shouldn't be losing to a team down the bottom of the league, but they did. So get over it, boys, because it's not the end of the world.
I think this is that flip side of people underestimating teams. I think you look at teams and go, I think that, what people judge on? They go the size of the club as opposed to the actual kind of
quality
how
of
the
the team.
teams, the quality of the team.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I was thinking with Bolton, because I thought Bolton will look and go, Carlisle have been down the bottom of the thing. Carlisle have done it before when you go, oh, we should be beating these easily. This is like an easy.
Yeah.
And we lose because you underestimate the team, because you go, oh, well, Carlisle are bigger than them.
Happens every time we play Harrogate Town.
Yeah, and Bolton are a bigger club than Carlisle.
Oh, yeah.
But they weren't on Saturday, so...
No.
You know what I mean?
They were a bigger club, but they weren't the better team. Not at all.
Exactly.
So, I mean, obviously throughout that, we'll put in the photos that you lot have sent in to us over Facebook. We'll put in the photos and videos that we've got of the game, kind of give you a comprehensive view of it. If you want to see another viewpoint of the game, we did post a away day vlog on the TikTok, which I'll leave in the description, or I'll leave somewhere on here if you want to go and see it. Because I think it's probably the best video that we've put out so far. I really
Except for the Leyton prediction.
Except for the Leyton, yeah, because you'll keep fucking banging on about that till the cows come on. But I thought it was a really good video. Really enjoyed making it. And yeah, I suppose now we'll quickly talk about the underwhelming performance of last night.
Just before we go into that, Ollie, I will go back just when you were saying about like the second goal, because I meant to add in.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, this is up there. I have laughed and howled.
Are you going to talk about the Sam Lavelle video?
Sam Lavelle celebration, mate.
Put it in, because the man himself has sent it to us. We might as well put it in the video now.
Sam actually sent it to me. Like, he messaged my mate. I think his mate had seen my tweet because I'd asked for it because I wanted to put it in the video, and I thought, oh my god, because I remember watching it, obviously when it happened, and I was howling. How he was like, oh, that
was brilliant.
And then like when I've watched it back, it's funny as hell, because I actually didn't realise they actually run straight to like the Bolton,
the crazy corner bit,
and he's giving it like the big ones. Oh man, honestly, he's such.
He's a top
guy. I love him, mate.
Top guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll put it over the video and I'll take a look at this. It's absolutely unbelievable. Sam Lavelle, he's proper just. I think that little dance that he does, I'm pretty sure Gibson does it as well. I'm pretty sure that's what it came from. I think because Gibson's goal gif, I think he does that, like that. They're pushing it
like that.
So yeah, so I think it's
maybe
it's a Gibson thing. But yeah,
it was class, man. It was
unbelievable.
I was howling.
He's unbelievable. Like I said, I think
yeah.
he's taken on that centre-half role really well, especially wearing the armband. I think he's done a very good job making it his own. And I mean, Hunt he's an icon of the club. He was brilliant last season, but I'll be honest, I think it might be hard for him to find his way into the back line now, unless we decide to revert to a back five. But I'm not sure why we would, because the back four's been bringing us some joy recently.
I think a back five is if you've got a tall centre forward and they're kind of coming onto you and you think, right, let's have a bit more defensive lineup and you bring him in. But
I suppose it depends on who you're facing, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think with a 4 you've got to go with Lavelle and then Mellish, or if you get a better centre back in January, possibly like a more rounded, then you can push Mellish into midfield maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think an all round absolute fun. Like honest mate, that is genuinely up there. I think that's obviously Wembley for what happened, but since that is definitely up there.
I'd say it's in one of my top 5 Carlisle games.
Yeah, I mean the photos we got, the videos, the memories. It's absolutely brilliant.
It is, it's brilliant. And you know what though? I've seen Bolton fans be like, I've seen Bolton fans say, "Oh, as if that's so sad that this was a big game for them." I'm like, yeah, okay, sorry that we weren't in the fucking Premier League for years like you were. Do you know what I mean? But now you've been reduced to losing to Carlisle. So what does that say about you? Do you know what I mean? We're having a great time. We're just there for the ride. We're loving it. If you want to cry about it, that's up to you. That ain't my problem.
I was talking to this couple that had been going to Bolton games for years, years and years, and they were like just talking to us, and they were like, "Oh, why there's so many fans coming down? Like, why is it this kind? There's not really a rivalry with it." I said, the thing is, Carlisle have always taken a good following, like away, and I said just because Bolton, it's a bit closer, like people can get to it. It would be funny. Obviously Carlisle always take a good following anyway, but it's a bit probably harder for like Exeter. You're not going to take 4,500 fans to Exeter, but like I said, no, that's kind of the reason Carlisle get the following. Carlisle do like people going, oh my god, this is new. This will not be the first time Carlisle take over 2,000 fans to games. Yeah, so basically they'd asked us before the game. They were going, who do you think? Like, who's your star person to look out for? And I said, well, to be fair, Owen Moxon last season was like absolutely unreal. And I said that he is always a threat going forward. But I said, probably Jordan Gibson, like our number 7. He says, you probably want to watch him. And then he goes,
they had no choice but to watch him, mate. He got a hat-trick. No, honestly, the thing is, I'm so glad that he got off the mark. Like, against Peterborough, because I was there. I don't know, were you there for the Peterborough game?
Yeah.
Me and Kirky were in the Warwick for the Peterborough game, and when that goal went in, that place lost its head. Like honestly, I know it's a Tuesday night and there was about 6,000 in the ground. It's less than we normally get, obviously, because the Tuesday night fixture. But like it was just as loud as it had been on Saturday. Like it was unbelievable. Obviously a bit lucky for it to go in, but their keeper probably should have done better for it, I think. But you know they all count, deflections, own goals, whatever else. And yeah, I think he's going to have a brilliant season now. Like, goals on his... He's already been having a good season, like, in the way that he's been playing and the work that he's been putting in. But I think in terms of getting some goals and assists under his belt now, he's flying away with it. And I think he's kind of the... Like, Moxon's, like, the hard worker, and he can pass it well. I think Gibson's, like, that flair. And I think you need a bit of that in any team.
Yeah, of course.
But anyways, we've wonked ourselves silly about the Bolton game for a few minutes. Which
love that phrase, you way.
What? Wanking ourselves silly? It's good, isn't it? It's good crack. But no, we've been chatting about the fucking Bolton game for about half an hour. So now that all the Bolton fans have got upset and clicked off, we'll talk about last night's game against Nottingham Forest under 21s. Now I don't pay much bother to the Pizza Cup. I don't care much for it. I think the fact that under 21s teams were in it in the first place is a bit of a joke. That isn't discrediting Forest's performance last night. I heard they played very well. But probably shouldn't be there in the first place. That isn't the way the cup should be. But the game wasn't what caught my interest. It was Simo's interview afterwards, because he was fucking raging. And it's the angriest I've ever heard him. It's the angriest I've ever heard a Carlisle manager come out and be in an interview. Like, I have never heard a Carlisle manager come out and outrightly say that performance was disgraceful. This is just quoting a few. Disgraceful performance. We looked like we were dragged in off the street. There was... What else was there? There was... playing football looked like a chore to them. And then when Andy All says you should lift them, he goes, no, like they should lift themselves. The grown men. And and I agree with Simo there. I don't see why it was, asked that, like, would you want to lift them? I wouldn't want to lift them after that performance, you know what I mean? And I know it's only our B team, but you need strength at depth in this level, and it's important to have that, because you're going to have to rotate when you've got games on a Tuesday and a Saturday. rotation is necessary, and some of them players have not made a case for all to get rotated into the team.
Well, this is what you said to me last night. You went, oh, like, is it maybe over the top from him? And I said, the thing is, it's not, like, you've got to have
Now looking back
like I like to say, you've got to have the context and look and say, these players are, they had, like, Middlesbrough, they've had Wigan, they've had Carlisle City in the Cup. Honestly, I watched them against Carlisle City, and I genuinely thought you could not tell me that this is a League One standard side. You what, sorry?
They took us to pens, didn't they?
Yeah, they took us to pens.
We shouldn't be going to pens against Carlisle City. No offence to any Carlisle City fans watching, but we shouldn't be.
The Carlisle City players were probably better on the night. Like, there was a lot of them were playing out the skin. And I think that's a culmination for Simo, that he's gone, the first 11 that I'm picking, which is most likely going to be Holy Finback, Lavelle Mellish, Armour, Moxon, Guy and Gibble, and then Maguire and...
Maguire and Garner, or Maguire and Plange, or Maguire and Alfie and Maguire. Like the front two is always changing, to be fair, but the rest of that team is nailed on. Like,
and I think that's where you kind of he's looking, going, right, who is on this bench for me? Yeah. He's going to come on and make a difference. And there's only so much, and this is for us as well as fans. There's only so much you can kind of give someone credit and go, oh no, they're all right. Yeah. I want Edmondson to come good. I want Jaden Harris to come good, because I do. I want them to.
But neither of them have.
But at the end of the day, you're gonna get to a point. You go, well, what are we?
What are we paying you for?
Like, there's a lot of players in that team last night that Smo were going, you are not the standard that I need, and you're gonna have to go. And that's how football works. At the end of the day, we're a League One side. We're going to get an injection of money. Yeah. You've got to get the quality in.
And in your first season in a new league, like, you don't have time to. Sorry to cut you off, but like in your first season in a new league, you don't have time to be compassionate, and you don't have time to be gracious and be like, oh well, I'll give you another chance. Like, a lot of these players have had the chances, and the chances have been and gone, and you can tell that they are from the way Simo was talking. I think the only players we have on the bench that make any sort of impact for us are Joe Garner when he is on the bench, and Terrier Blade, or Terrier Blade, I think is how you pronounce his name. I've been saying it wrong. I've been saying it wrong the whole bastard time. Terrier Blade, Big Tez. I think he offers a bit with his pace, but even then he hasn't made a goal contribution since his debut against Shrewsbury. But I think I've liked what I've seen from him, and I think he does offer a lot going down the wings. Mm-hmm. Like, he runs himself into the ground, like, from what I've seen of him, and Garner's good off the bench as well. Plange has failed to make an impact since he came in. That's nothing against him personally. I actually, like, when we announced the signing, I was like, that's a good coup for us. I was actually glad that we got him. Yeah. But he really has not provided what we've been wanting to see from him. He scored against Lincoln, I think it was, but it was kind of a deflection from Moxon's free kick. Obviously, you've still got to have the instinct as a striker to poke that in, and he's done well to do so. But he's had other chances where I've thought you should be putting them away as a striker, and he just hasn't. Same goes for Maguire. I'm not exempting anybody from it. I think it's been a worry for a good part of this season that our strikers aren't doing as much as we need them to be doing. Mm-hmm. And obviously we're getting the goals from Moxon and Gibbo and whatever else, but you need to be getting your goals from your strikers. That's what they're there for. And if they're not providing goals, where do you get them from? Because Gibbo's not going to keep scoring hat-tricks all season.
No. And I think this is where you kind of look into it and go, right, that Simo's just got to the end of his tether with them, and he's going, I'm putting you out there and you're not even giving me the bare minimum, and you are trying to get into a team. That's what he's meaning when he says you're doing, like, it's just a chore being a footballer. Yeah. It's like, you have got to be able to lift yourself. And obviously Andy Hall asked the question, but at the end of the day, the answer to that question is, you can't put your arm around someone all the time. No. You've got to just let them get on with it and be a bit of tough love with them. Yeah. Especially with some of them players out there, because even when they come off the bench, we're all cheering them on and going, yeah, singing a chance and wanting, wishing them well. No one's ever coming on and we're going, boo, or booing
exactly
like that.
Every time Ryan Edmondson's come on, it's the do a diddy diddy dum across the entire Warwick. But he still hasn't scored. Like, it's just. No.
Ryan Edmondson's different, because I think that Ryan Edmondson's work rate is really good.
Works so hard, but he hasn't given us the end product yet.
I think that if that end product comes, Ryan Edmondson will be a fantastic player for Carlisle. But this is another thing. How long do we
give him?
I do believe that you need to give him the minimum till the end of the season. I wouldn't get rid of him in January, because I think he's a decent enough player if he is going to get his head right. I think what happened is when he starts coming in the goals, it'll be absolutely firing. But I don't think, I know he's got the number 9 on, but I think he works better on the wing.
Yeah.
I think when he's in that middle, he just looks a bit lost.
Because that's the thing. It's like Simo said something about Edmondson. It was when we played Harrogate in the Cup. He said Ryan Edmondson stays on the wing too much. Play him as a winger then. You know, like, just give him that one game just on the wing, see what he does, because he works hard, he runs fast, keeps his head down, gets his head down and works, and I think when, and I get why Simo's annoyed, because he played him as a striker in that game, and you want your striker to be central, you want him to be playing through the middle, like, you know, like how he sets up at least. But give him a game on the wing and see how he does, because I think if you tried him out there, I think he would do a good job. I'm not sure I totally agree with you saying we should give him to the end of the season, because like my previous point, you can't be really compassionate at this level. Edmondson was alright last season, he got a few goals to his name, but like I don't think you can be given a player who's had the lack of effect that he's had on games until the end of the season. I think if he doesn't,
so who would you give then?
Because no, because this leads into what I'm saying. It's relative to who you'd bring in to replace him.
No, but this is what I mean. How many are you going to bring in? Because you can't bring in like another 3 strikers. Coyote's
no, but if one goes, one comes in. That's what I'm saying.
Say Coyote's out injured at the moment. So you've got Joe Garner, Edmondson, Plange, Terry, and Maguire. But we've got, right. So Maguire's here to the end of the season.
Yeah.
Garner's obviously aging. He's doing all right, but you need someone in better than Joe Garner. That's just how it is, and I think he'd agree probably. Yeah. He cannot play every game of the season.
No, exactly. He's not got the tank for
anymore. You've then got Terry, Plange, and Edmondson. Plange is gone in January because he's only on a half season loan, and I highly doubt that's going to be kept on. I cannot see that. So he'll be gone, and you'll bring in someone else, hopefully, for that.
I would hope so.
Then you've got Terry to the end of the season, which most likely will stay. So then you're going, right, so you get rid of Edmondson as well. So you're going to bring in 2 strikers. You also then need to bring in probably midfielders with Taylor's injury, possibly. You don't know how. I know he said he's out for...
because I mean, you don't know when they'll be back, and I mean, even with fucking McGear as well. McGear as well, you've seen fuck all of him. I just think when you have these conversations, I think it does show the lack of depth that we've got. And I mean,
and I'd argue that we need to. I think honestly, centre back is probably one we need to bring in because Whelan will go. Huntington will not be starting next season.
No,
that's a fact because of his age.
He won't.
So it's better to bring in someone in January and integrate them in and go, look, you will start come after the summer. We're just integrating you in, and you never know. He might just centre back might come in and just take it by storm. And go, actually, he's starting now. You just don't want to give him that too much pressure.
Yeah.
But I just think you can't get rid of both Edmondson and Plange and bring in 2 strikers as well as other people because if you're getting,
I don't think it's the most far-fetched thing in the world, to be honest. Like,
it might happen.
And I get, to be fair, I get why you're backing Edmondson. Like, I understand it. I understand the point of view because, like, I have done so for a long time as well. But like,
it's running out. It is running out. And I will be honest. I'm not sitting here kind of going, no, we have to stick with him. I'm not doing this like jokey kind of. I want to be different. I just think at the end of the day, he's still a young lad, and I think he can come good. I don't think he's not like a problem in the dressing room. I can't imagine that.
No. Like, he's a good lad. Like, I've spoken to him before. You spoke to him before. He's a good lad and he's decent, but
he's just got to get his head switched on and getting the goals, and I think he'll be absolutely laughing. Or if he produces stuff in a game.
Big if.
Yeah, but even if he's producing stuff that's like an assist or something, and Simo's looking going, you are actually having an effect on the game. Yeah. But I don't know. I think a lot you've got to remember.
Honestly, because I want Emmo to have an effect more than anyone, but just. It's my patience is running thin with him. I won't lie to you. Like I said, it's nothing against him personally. I like him as a person, and I think last season he did offer us a bit, but I think the step up is just even in pre-season he didn't look like scoring. He had so many close opportunities and they've just gone. And missed opportunities are very, very important because you think if he put a few of them away, he'd get a bit of confidence going into the season, and he could be on 5 or 6 goals by now. Do you know what I mean? But after missing those chances in pre-season, I'm not sure.
I'd stick with him to the end of the season, and if he hasn't improved over the season, then you probably have to go right.
But then you look back on it and think, well, if like say for example you bring Edmondson on and he misses a chance, you think, maybe if we had a different striker, they would have finished that. And then when you get to the end of the season, those points tally up, and it's like, maybe like it's what abouts and what ifs, and it's like it's I don't know if it's too hard to judge, I suppose, but I'm really not sure I'd stick with him to the end of the season.
If we have strikers, Ollie, this is the thing. How much do people ask for different players? I mean, Harrogate were asking for 500 grand for Luke Armstrong in League 2. And you think, so how much are we going to spend? I'm sorry, the Piatacs are not going to come in and go, here's 500 grand for one player.
Here's 1 million, guys. Have fun.
Yeah. They're not going to, because they want to put it in other places. I'm not saying that they don't have that money, which they will. I'm just meaning you've got to be realistic and you've got to be like FFP as well. You cannot just go in and go money. But you've maybe just got to go right. We'll stick with Edmondson.
But is me saying to let Edmondson go in January unrealistic?
I don't think it's unrealistic. So. I wouldn't say it's unrealistic, but I think to the fact of Plange's most likely, I can't see
his extended Plange's long. No, not at all. But then I don't think bringing in 2 more strikers is a too far out idea either.
No, but I'm just meaning I think there's other positions we need to fill, because if Harris most likely will go,
I think the midfield's probably the most important place. I think.
Yeah.
Because you saw last night we had to start Callum Guy in the fucking Pizza Cup, and that is also to comply with the rules of the competition. But at the same time, like, you shouldn't be having to start in there. In an ideal world, you'd have McGear or Charters or whatever else in there, but they're both fucking.
I think we probably need to look at a centre back. We need to, this isn't meaning in January. This just means even when it comes to the summer. I think we need another centre back or 2. We will need a right back, because I doubt Finback will get given another loan.
Unfortunately, not. But
I don't think they'll probably want to put him into the Championship.
But no, I don't know. I think if Forest will probably I think Forest are going to stay up in the Premiership this season. They're established now. They're good enough. Finback's not going to get a sniff in on that team. And I'll be honest, while I think he's very good, I'd be surprised if he got a Championship move next season. I'll be completely honest. Like, I don't see why he couldn't go back to a League One team. And I don't see why.
Let's say we get Finback. Let's say we get Finback on a loan. I think the left back position probably needs strengthened.
Okay.
I do. And I think that centre mid, that needs a good 2 people to be backups, to be coming in going, you are on the cusp.
I think that's the thing. With midfield, we're not asking for world beaters, we just want depth.
Yeah. You need that depth. And I'm not being funny, Harris needs to go out on loan, because he needs to get game time.
He needs regular game time.
He's clearly not going to get it under.
Simo got him on a 3-year contract, and we paid £90,000 for him from Aldershot. That is, we've paid a fee for a player, which we never do. And he's got a 3-year deal, which we also never do. Simo clearly saw something in him. I don't know if he still sees that in him now, but I think you're right. I do think Harris needs some time away from the team. He needs some game time elsewhere. I saw someone say Boreham Wood earlier this season. Apparently they were in need of a holding mid. I don't know if that's still the case, but why not? Send him anywhere.
I've been looking at a League 2 side if you can get it. So there's still that kind. If you're not just sending him,
level.
You don't want to just send him somewhere just for the sake of here's some minutes for you.
Yeah.
Just gone there.
A team that kind of suits his player style.
Yeah, and then I think you've got to look and then go the attackers. Honestly, Carlisle, probably not far off. You get a proper striker, proper attackers in that team. You'd be absolutely laughing.
Yeah, because
he's going to always start.
We produce a lot. We produce a lot of attacks. Yeah. It's just we don't have the person to finish it.
Well, that's another thing as well. Moxon. Come to the end of the season, Moxon might.
We won't even know if his contracts are going to get fucking renewed.
I can't imagine. I do think that it'll be probably the play attackers will be like, right, well maybe add a little bit more on.
Yeah.
For his kind of thing. But that's another one. If you don't want to be and you want to go somewhere else, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But just
communicate it properly with the manager.
Yeah.
Unlike some.
Morgan Feeney.
And not bad. And no, I'm joking. I'm sure he's a lovely bloke. He is a lovely bloke, actually. Tell a lie. But I don't know. I think honestly, we are desperately in need of some midfield depth. We're desperately in need of a goal scorer. We're desperately in need of a lot of things. And we can focus on the Bolton performance, and that was great. But you need to look at the long term. Because while Jordan,
and I think you get them games,
up those performances all season.
No, when the when you go to the you get these games and you turn up and you've obviously got the fans behind you, so you're like, right, we're going to give a bit extra. You can't just be like, we're turning for here and we're not going to for this game, we're going to turn for that one.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got to have that consistency, and I'm not saying we're never going to win every single game, obviously, but as long as you're giving you 100% on the pitch, and I think you want to be looking to the bench going, right, who's coming on? Oh, yeah, we still get him to come on. I think there's a lot of the time I've looked at certain other teams that have come to us, or
I feel like we had that a lot last season. I think we had a lot of that last season. When Omari Patrick came off the bench last season, a lot of the time I was like, oh, here we go. This is, we had. I'm trying to. The name escapes me now. It's the players that we've let go, because we had Christian Dennis back then as well. So then you'd have Christian Dennis starting, and then you'd have a Garner or Emerson or Omari Patrick to come off the bench. And then you'd be like, oh, fucking get up. Omari Patrick would start warming up and the entire Warwick would be going at it. I don't think we have those type of players anymore, except Joe Garner. I think Joe Garner is the only player we have that will come off the bench and make an impact. And he's not on the bench as much anymore either. He started against Bolton. I don't know if starting him every weekend's a great fucking idea, like, but you know.
I think we've got a lot of young players that are like will come good at. I mean, you obviously got Jack Ellis, Taylor Charters.
Aye.
So in midfield, I'm saying you're bringing these, and like in defence, you've got these like lads that are coming through that will end up coming good. Like Simo has done a good idea of getting young players coming through. Jack Robinson at left back.
Yeah.
He's warming these. Have you got like Max Kilsby even and Kai Nugent?
Yeah.
Like I think Kai Nugent will come good at Carlisle.
Honestly, I don't even think Kai Nugent should have gone out on loan to Annan this season.
No, I think we should have possibly kept him.
Yeah.
But then again, Simo's probably thought it's a big step up, and I don't.
But like with the players on the wing that we've got, I don't think he'd have much of a problem getting into the team.
No,
if he was still around.
He's maybe just looked at his height and his kind of.
He's still a young lad. He needs to grow physically a bit more to compete with the defences at this level.
Yeah, it's good to go into like Annan and stuff like that. But I mean,
the Scottish leagues are physical, like they are fucking rough. So he'll learn from that.
But you need some of them experienced players, or them players that are like absolutely go. I need to make a point here. I want to come in. Like sometimes it's not too bad going for like low-sided teams that are looking up north and looking in like Scotland. And
I honestly think the Scottish market is something we need to be tapping into more. I think it's completely daft that we haven't done that more. We've got the affiliation with Annan, but then that's it. Like we need to be looking more north, because as someone I've spent time like around Scottish football more this season than like I had in the past, and like even some of the lads that are playing for like Scottish League One and Championship sides that you read about, like they could fucking do a job at League One, like they could. And I know people like saying there's a big gap between the two countries, but there really isn't as much of a big gap as people say. Like the talent of some of the lads up there is unbelievable, and I think we do need to be tapping into that market more. And maybe that's something we'll look at in January or in the summer. But who's to say? We don't know yet.
Anyway, on to
Orient this weekend.
Orient.
Sorry, I cut you off, but I won't be there for it. I'm down in Leeds for that fixture, so I'll be keeping an eye on the scores. But as someone who's going to be at the game, what are you wanting to see going into it?
I think we've got to bounce on, and it's quite good that it's at Brunton Park and not at like Leyton Orient, because I do think like the home crowd after obviously as much as people say the midweek, it wasn't brilliant, but it is what it is. You put it to the side. It's not a league game. League's very different. You've got the first team coming out.
Yeah.
I think there'll probably be a bit of like nervousness back and forth, because I think Orient will both. It's like one of them. Both Carlisle could have been at the top of the table and Leyton could be at the bottom, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And it'll be an even game because we just played each other last season.
Yeah.
It'll be the same with like Northampton Town, I think.
I was saying this morning, to be fair, on the when I was in the car on the way to college, I said to my mum, I was like, we didn't beat them last season at home. We didn't beat the season before at home either.
I think it'll be a very scrappy game.
It will be.
Or a very tight game. It won't be. I can't see it being like. I can't see it being like 4-0 or 3-0 or something like that.
There'll be 1 or 2 goals in it, I think, for either side, and it'll be a very tight one indeed.
I think it'll be. We'll do predictions at the end, but I think Carlisle needs to look at these opportunities when you're at home and you've got to get like a result at home. Yeah. And I know it's easy said than done, but I think you've got a good crowd behind you.
This is the perfect opportunity to get some momentum going.
Because I mean, let's say we win on Saturday, that's 2 wins on the bounce, and then you are constantly pushing on, and then without being funny, you do get more crowds.
Yeah.
The better that Carlisle are doing, obviously, like you'll get the people that be like when they're doing not good like through this season, maybe the numbers will drop. But to be fair, they haven't dropped that much.
No.
That I thought. Like,
big attendance on the opening day, and we've averaged around like 7,000 since then.
Yeah, exactly, which is absolutely brilliant.
It is.
But yeah, I think I'll be there with Stephen and Adam.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say quickly, talking about the attendances, something I read and also something I posted about on Twitter. When I started going to Carlisle games again in January of 2020, it was after I hadn't gone for years. We played Plymouth Argyle at home and lost 3-0. There were 4,212 people in the crowd for that game. Carlisle took 4,407 to Bolton Wanderers away. It's just unbelievable, isn't it? It's an unbelievable thing to think about, and I think it applies to the home attendances too, like we've just been saying. We're now averaging about 7,000 every home game, 8,000. The bigger opponents, like when we played Derby, it was 11,000. Like,
you've got one man to thank for that as well, and I'm telling you now, that's why.
Paul Simpson.
For me, he'll always get the backing from me when I play, because I always look and think obviously the players can down tools. The manager, you can look and go, what are you doing? Mm-hmm. With Simo, you just look and think, this is mental how little budget he's had
and how much he's transformed the
and
club.
the ground that we're obviously in, the training facilities of what he's been able to do, and you think, my God, if you get that next level of injection, and obviously, without being funny, we're not going to be delusional here and go, oh, he's going to get it, and we're going
to be rolling in millions, and we're going to go to the Premiership.
It could flip, and it might be too much.
Yeah.
For him, and it might not work out. I highly doubt that. But I'm just saying, I'm not going to be unrealistic and turn around here and go, he's going to get it, and we're going to the Premier League. Most likely, we will go up, I do think. But there is that little side that there is money and there's a bit more expectation. It could just.
I think
it's a different style of player, isn't it?
If the American investment comes in, I think if Carlisle United can reach the Championship within the next 5 or 6 years, I think that's a success. Honestly.
If I ever see Carlisle United in the Premier League in my lifetime.
Honestly, I can't imagine us being in the Premier League. My mind just can't comprehend it. I'm not even going to talk about it because I will sound stupid. But the Championship, I think, is very much attainable within the next 5 or 6 years. I don't think we're going to get on the bounce and go up next year. Do you know what I mean? But I think if the investment comes in, we keep Simo going, let him deal with what he's dealing with. I think the Championship is very much within reach for us. Honestly, I'd even say if we got relegated this season, I wouldn't want Simo to get sacked. I think he's just the right man regardless. He's Carlisle through and through. He's a very good manager. He's a good man manager.
He's vocal as well. He's not he doesn't just do the typical kind of.
Well, we saw last night.
We had some good stunts. Last night comes out and it's he's got that side where he can praise players, but he's got it where it absolutely scared them. And I think that's
firm but fair. He's firm but fair as Simo, and I would rather have nobody else running the front of this club. Honestly,
I never want him to leave. No, honestly, we have to.
I hope he stays till he retires, and when he does retire, he comes to every fucking match. I just don't want to see the end of the Paul Simpson era.
For me, I feel like when it does inevitably come to an end with Simo, I hope it's on his terms.
Yeah,
and I hope that he picks who comes in next, and almost either they come in as a bit of a
understudy,
maybe half a season, just as a bit of.
You know what I'd like to see, and this might sound fucking mental depending on where he ends up in a few years. Say we were still in League 1 or League 2 when Simo goes, which I hope we've improved much by then. But if we were in those bottom two tiers, why not bring in Danny Granger? You know? Why not in a few years' time? I think Danny Granger
might work as a coach.
Well, here's my thinking. You bring him in as a coach for a couple of years. You let him kind of Simo takes him under his wing. You know, he kind of sees how he does things, and then you take the gamble on him a few years after, if we're in League 1 or League 2, and you let him take the wheel and you see where it goes. If not, you bring in someone else. Obviously, the managerial game changes just as much as the players' game changes. There might be some new managers that have emerged in a few years' time that are fucking brilliant, and we want to bring them in instead. But you don't know where
the club will be.
I mean, you never know what happens to managers. You never know what happens to managers at all, because I suppose this is a very Carlisle-centered episode, but I'll touch on it very, very briefly. Why on earth have Birmingham City sacked John Eustace? I saw you reply to me on Twitter, and you were like, "It could be a very good idea." I think you're chatting out your ass. Not a chance. Never a good idea. And this might just be me being close-minded, but John Eustace has got them from 18th to 6th in the Championship, and now they've sacked him to bring in Wayne Rooney. That's like us sacking Paul Simpson to bring in fucking Jamie Devitt. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense.
Don't
talk to me about how Rooney's got an accomplished fucking. He hasn't. He's not. Derby County, I know now I'm not discrediting what he did with them when they had the points deduction. I think he had a very good effort, and I think to get them I think they had 34 points by the end of the season. To get that with the points deduction is a brilliant achievement in itself. But the season before that, they were still pish. He's went to DC United. He's not even got in the fucking MLS playoffs. If you can't get a team in the MLS playoffs, you will not do well with a team in the Championship. It is two completely different games.
No, I think it's probably not the right. I was a bit shocked with it, but they clearly have a way they want to play and a style they've got with different players, and they for some reason think that Wayne Rooney is the one to take them forward. And do you know what? It could absolutely blow up in his face. I don't think it will. I think sometimes you've got to get these players coming in, and it's actually, you sometimes end up doing a bit better because the stature of Wayne Rooney's career. I know a lot of people say you can't go by someone's player's career. I know that, and we've had this with Lampard and with Gerrard, but the thing is, no one knows what the future holds for Birmingham City. Literally no one does. Rooney could go in and get them promoted. Rooney could go in and get them relegated. You have no idea.
You've said the thing about they've got a particular set of players and particular philosophy and all that. Because that's what the club said. They put out a statement saying John Eustace's views of how the team it misaligned with our views. I think that's a lot of bollocks. I think they're lying through the skin of the teeth. The only reason they've brought Wayne Rooney in is because of his stature as a player, and I think that is an absolutely stupid reason to appoint anyone. They've recently received this investment from like Tom Brady and some other Americans and whatnot. And obviously, obviously they don't have the overrule of like what you're bringing into the club, but they will have a good amount of influence on it. And I think if they weren't involved with Birmingham City, this wouldn't have happened. I'm gonna be completely, and I think honestly, Birmingham City fans have been absolutely stiffed. And if I was them, I'd be fucking raging. I'll be completely honest with you. Like,
he's bringing in John O'Shea as well as his assistant.
Get the band back together then. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's the Man United boys take Birmingham. I don't know. I think it'll be. Obviously, I've said before, like I idolise Rooney when I was.
Yeah, I was going to say you'll have your biases towards Rooney in any circumstance. Like, I don't understand that.
But I take that out of it because I do think like Gerrard, like I can appreciate he was a good player.
Yeah.
But he's literally a Liverpool player. I would have absolutely no affiliation to giving him any credit.
No.
But when Rangers signed him,
I was going to say Gerrard's done more than fucking Rooney has as a manager, no?
No, I'm about to say. So when Gerrard went to Rangers, I thought that's actually quite a good appointment. That, and when he went from Rangers to Villa, I thought it just didn't work.
It didn't work from Villa.
At that time, the players, the philosophy, it sometimes doesn't work at a certain. Like obviously he's gone to Saudi. Lampard's another one. Lampard was at Derby, and I thought he did all right that season. Then he got the big move to Chelsea. Yeah. Lampard shouldn't have done that.
No.
Because he went, you never know when you're going to get it. It's Chelsea. You'll probably get it in another 2 years.
Exactly.
Like the managers go like clockwork.
Fucking does over there, like.
I don't know. We'll just see what it is. I think it could come good. It might not, but I wish him all the best. But I will be there for the Birmingham City versus Leicester City.
The Rebecca Vardy derby.
Wagatha Christie.
Fucking Wagatha Christie fucking derby, mate. Love it. Anyways, I think that's all we needed to cover today. A lot of Carlisle.
So for predictions,
a bit of Brum City. We'll finish with the prediction, actually. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Carlisle United 1,
we're not playing Lincoln City.
Leyton Orient, sorry. Leyton Orient.
I think Carlisle United 1, Shrewsbury Town 0.
Carlisle United 1, Leyton Orient 0.
All right. I'm going to go with... I'm going to say Carlisle United 2, Leyton Orient. I'll give them Leyton Orient 1. Carlisle United 2, Leyton Orient 1, I think is the going to be the ending score of that one. Anyways, thank you all for watching or listening, because we're now on Spotify, which we got sorted yesterday. So if you're listening to us on there, it's lovely. Thanks very much. But you could be watching it on YouTube as well, so why not do both? If you are
rating, give us a like.
If you're listening on Spotify, give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you to all of you who sent your photos in over Facebook. That you obviously requested. Thank you for sending your photos over Facebook for the game. I hope you've seen them in here as well. And whatever you need to say, Dan, go for it.
No, I was just going to say, guys, it's free to follow on Instagram, free to follow on Twitter, retweet it.
We're not asking for your money.
Wonders.
We're not asking for your money.
We're not asking for payment. It's a free thing just to go retweet or follow. What does a follow matter?
Exactly.
Or a like. Or just tell people about us.
And honestly, if you get that sick of us, if we're really that shit, then you can unsubscribe. But I don't think you will. Yeah. So,
We've got big guests coming, hopefully.
Fingers crossed, we have some very, very big guests in the pipeline. Which
down to one person saying yes.
Exactly. We won't reveal anything just yet.
No,
but it could be very big.
Honestly.
We won't say any more than that, though. Anyways, I think we'll stop waffling and end it here. Thank you all for watching or listening. We'll see you all in the next one. Take care.